Next in my short series of videos talking about some of the French knives in my collection are a few that I really like. These styles of knife were typically French. This style started in around the 1780s up until around the 1830s or so. This style of knife originally they would come as a set, so you'd have a knife with a steel blade and then a matching knife with a gold or silver blade, which was for cutting fruit. And the reason being that they didn't have any stainless steels and the acidity of the fruit would tarnish the blade, so you use the gold or silver blade, and they'd call those a fruit knife. And so these aren't really the fruit knives because they have steel blades. And then for a while after the Revolution, the style was still popular with the steel blade, and they're sometimes referred as couteau de l'Empire or empire knives. Typically they'll have a long skinny blade and a handle of pearl, ivory, tortoiseshell, something precious with gold or gold foiled bolsters and pins and decoration, and these fancy bolster shape with a rounded end. Very often they're what they call pinched, meaning the knife is skinnier on the far end. This particular one is gold and with mother of pearl, and there's some very fine engraving file work on the spine. There's a maker's mark on the blade, but I haven't been able to find anything of that era that refers to what the makers were. It looks like brass or gold-plated liners as well to keep any rust from causing damage to the blade. They're just very fine, finely made. Again, I guess I'm kind of like a magpie that I just collect shiny things, but I just think these are a really nice, very pretty shape. Just really nicely handcrafted knives from that 1780 to the 1800 era. This is another one. It's got a slightly different blade mark on it. Similar shape. This one has ivory handles. Again, the same sort of pinched bolster on the end. Not quite so much. This one has a very fine little spine lock on it that if you push down, it does lift that up. Now, the locking mechanism over the years I think has worn, or the hook has broken, so it doesn't actually lock the knife anymore, but the mechanism is still there. So this was a very early locking mechanism. Just extremely well made. Beautiful ivory. These would typically come in a case like this. This case is missing the lid. Here's the remnants of the hinge. These cases were most often covered in ray skin, or in the French, galouchat. Now, galouchat was actually the name of a person, Monsieur Galouchat, who, in the time of Louis XV, was a leather and case maker in France at the time, and Madame de Pompadour, who was the consort of Louis XV, was very enamored with this material, and eventually the material, either shark or ray skin, now in France is referred to as galouchat. So this would be a case that would fit one or both of those folding knives. This is a knife with tortoiseshell handle that was made by Jacques Mangin, who was a current maker, done in that same style, again with the pinched bolster in the rear, Instead of gold, this has stainless steel bolsters, but in that same style. This is a numbered version with the name Diderot and Longues. It was the 100th anniversary, or the 200th anniversary of his death. Diderot was one of the early encyclopedia people who actually worked or made encyclopedias at that time. And I believe that his father was a knife maker in Langres. And that's why they honored him. And because of that 1784 date that fits right in with the same time period of these empire knives, it's a modern reproduction. Very, very pretty knife. I believe they still make a version not with the tortoise shell handle anymore. And this particular knife is one of the stars in my collection. Beautiful handmade done by Pascal Graveline, who just is one of the premier knife makers in France at this time. He just does outstanding work. Again, this has the gold pins and decoration, pearl scales. It's got that same worked figurative bolster design. Now this is what they call a couteau d'ami. So this knife is actually two knives, and it comes in a pair. And you can see the pin and locking mechanism. Now people who collect case knives probably know the case hobo, which is a knife and fork combination with the little locking pins. Anyway, those pins go in and they slide together, and it makes a complete knife with two blades. Beautiful file work. I mean, there's really no flaws on this knife. Just absolutely beautiful. He does great work. He does a lot of reproductions of antique knives. Again, the idea was, it's called a couteau d'ami because you could separate it and give one to your friend, and then you'd both have a knife to cut or eat your lunch with. They're not locked together like the hobo that has an inner lock when you close the fork. You can't pull it apart. These just slide apart. And then you'd open each one. Seems a shame to get them all disgusting with my fingerprints, but anyway, just beautiful, beautiful knives.